Namaste everyone. Thank you for joining in yet another video on this channel. And in today's video, we will be exploring the results of Jupiter's 2025 transit into Gemini for Cancer Ascendant or Moon. And if you are a Cancer Ascendant or if you have your Moon in Cancer, then this transit of Jupiter from the 14th of May 2025 until the 2nd of June 2026 is going to be very, very introspective. Okay, and this is going to be a period to step back, to go inward and reconnect with your higher consciousness, right? Remember, this transit is going to happen in the 12th house if you are a Cancer Ascendant or Cancer Moon. And for Cancer natives, Jupiter becomes a very important planet, particularly because it rules your Bhagyasthan, the sixth, as well as the sixth house. It rules the ninth house and the sixth house. So it represents the themes of service, healing as well as your dharma. Okay, so because it is entering your 12th house, which is the house of moksha, which also represents foreign lands, sleep, meditation, as well as your losses. So you know this is a point where your karmic dissolution is going to happen, because the 12th house is part of the moksha trikona, which is the triangle of spiritual liberation formed by the houses 4, 8, and 12. So 12th house is the highest house for karmic dissolution, and this transit of Jupiter is going to make it a very soulful year. Why? Because Jupiter here is asking you to let go of whatever no longer serves you. It is asking you to release whatever is no longer inclined with your life's path. Okay. And remember, Jupiter represents your spiritual joy. So Jupiter is also a planet which is going to be exalted when it enters your lagna the next year. So this is just like the calm before the cosmic sunrise. Okay, so because Jupiter is moving into the 12th house, you'll find a great inclination towards foreign travel, towards going for spiritual retreats, building meaningful connections with people, especially from those abroad or far off places. Okay, so if you have been stuck mentally, you should actually take a journey abroad, or even a silent retreat could bring you the insights that you have been craving for. Okay, and remember, 12th house is also the house of giving. So this transit of Jupiter into Gemini, which is your 12th house, is going to produce a huge urge of giving. Okay, and that giving could be in the form of charitable donations. You could also be giving time, spent for helping others, for serving others. You could also provide emotional support for those in need. Okay, and remember, 12th house is also the house of expenses. So it's important that you direct your energy towards justified spending rather than wasteful expenses. Okay, 12th house is also the house of diseases, right? So it's very important that you utilize your time well to avoid health issues. Okay, so this is also a good time for meditation. If you have been having some sleeping problems like insomnia or things like that, this is a time to heal those patterns. Uh, apart from that, if you have been trying to try some alternative therapies for your health issues, and this is a good time to do it. And remember, the house opposite to the 12th house is the sixth house, so it means that healing actually starts with you, right? So ideally, you should be regularizing your sleeping time. You should make very conscious efforts to detach from chaos and allow your body mind to rest. Right now, 12th house also represents the house of escapism. So it may feel that you want to avoid reality, that is a strict no. Okay, if you have kept some uncomfortable conversations pending, then this is the time to go ahead with those conversations, whether it is with your spouse, whether it's your boss, with your boss, sorry, or with your co-workers. Okay, and remember, retreating into silence just to avoid conflict is simply not acceptable. Okay, don't use silence as a disguise for avoidance. Okay. Instead, if you think that your communication is going out of the way, then practice conscious communication. You are encouraged actually to step into difficult conversations with compassion and resistance, as well as least resistance. Okay. So this is also a time to embrace solitude and reflection, because the 12th house is the house of solitude. And if you are actually traveling, then you should travel with a purpose which is educational or spiritual in nature. Okay. So as I said, work on your sleep, your silence, as well as prepare for the best, because Jupiter is going to be exalted next year when it enters your lagna or your moon sign. Right? So thank you so much for joining me in this interpretative journey. If you think this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share it with others on a spiritual path. And if you would want to explore how this transit impacts your chart, then you can always reach out at the number provided in the description box. So that would be it from me in this video. In my next video, we will be looking at Jupiter transit in Gemini for your ascendant or moon. Thank you so much for watching. Namaste. I'll see you soon. Om Gurave Namah.